This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Pia, Town of Stratford Council Chair. Today is April 12th, 2021. It is 6:16 p.m. We're gathered tonight for a notice of a public hearing to afford the citizens with the opportunity to comment on the town's proposed annual action plan for the program year 47 Community Development Block Grant, or the CDBG funding, as it's commonly referred to as. I'm going to open up the public hearing. Ms. Paquette, if you can acknowledge the first caller.
Yep, the first caller is Andrea Velu.
All right, so Ms. Veyu, good evening, and to Ms. Veyu and to all the callers as well. As always, the rules will keep it to 3 minutes, and the floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I apologize. I thought this was also the public forum for the annual budget. So I did not read the agenda correctly. I see that it's just strictly for the CDBG funding. But I would say this: I would appreciate any help as a taxpayer to offset my tax burden. And I look forward to speaking at the public hearing on your annual budget proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Margot, our next caller.
The next caller is Chelsea Cordiac.
Chelsea, hello. To Chelsea, and also let me just add in for the record too, as you just mentioned your name, just state your address or your town business association, affiliation. Chelsea.
Thank you so much, Chairman Pia. This is Chelsea Cordiac. I'm the Executive Director at the Stratford YMCA, 3045 Main Street. And I thank the council so much for the opportunity to speak tonight, and as well as appreciating the continued support of the town of Stratford during the toughest of economic times for the Stratford YMCA. We're grateful to the committee for their consideration of our CDBG request this year, and we look forward to this opportunity to continue strengthening the Stratford community through additional scholarship funds for families who haven't participated in Y programs before. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Chelsea, and thank you for everything the Y does for the town. Margot, our next caller.
The next caller is Elizabeth Sulik.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
I can. If you could just state your address for the record, ma'am, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes. I am the Executive Director of the Stratford Housing Authority, and we're located at 295 Everett Street. The authority was established in 1943 and owns and manages 514 elderly and family apartments in Stratford. We also service 281 housing choice vouchers throughout our town, an additional 1,200 which we service throughout the greater Bishoport area. Our total portfolio contains both federal and state housing units, and the major difference between the two is subsidy. The federal government provides a formula-based subsidy, while the state of Connecticut does not. This year, we will be applying for vacant unit repairs in the amount of $25,000 and for silo garden improvements for $230,000, for tree stump removal and fence replacement. The funding request for vacant unit repairs helps the authority make ready and turn units over faster after tenants vacate. And by doing so, it allows the elderly and families with children to occupy our apartments that much more quickly. With constant federal budget cuts and no subsidy from the state, the authority must make ready and lease units as quickly as possible. Last year, the authority's vacancy rate was 9%, which translates to 46 vacant units for the year. This represents a reduction of 8 units to the prior year, but I believe the pandemic played a part in that number. The make-ready cost is approximately $1,500 to $3,000 per vacant unit. And our second funding application will greatly benefit our elderly disabled residents who reside in our state development known as Shiloh Gardens. That is located at 175 Henry Avenue. Shiloh Gardens was built in 1962 and receives no subsidy from the state of Connecticut. Rather, it must sustain itself on the rents it receives from its low-income tenants. Because rents are very low and therefore affordable to the residents we serve, they typically just meet our annual expenses, leaving nothing to set aside for capital improvements, which is long overdue for this development. You may recall that we applied for a state grant to do major rehab at this development, and although I have not received anything formal, it seems very likely that we will be funded this year. I'd like to acknowledge that the CDBG award helps in that leveraging effort. Please know that we are cognizant of significant cuts to all programs and know that your board is faced with difficult choices when making these decisions. We ask and appreciate your support of the residents we serve and wish to thank you for its past and continued efforts on our behalf. They're truly most appreciated. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sulik. For this part of it, it's just the public hearing aspect of it, but I do appreciate you, ma'am, and you coming on and taking a few minutes of your time.
Thank you, much appreciated.
Thank you very much. Margot, back to you, Margot.
Yep, next up is Tammy Trojanowski.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Tammy Trojanowski, and I reside at 15 Elizabeth Street here in Stratford. I also serve as the town's Director of Community and Senior Services with offices located at the Birdseye Municipal Complex, 468 Birdseye Street, and the Baldwin Center, 1000 West Broad. Chairman Pia and council members, thank you so much for this opportunity to comment. Ty Sims, who is our South End program coordinator, is not able to join us tonight because she's taking a class. So I'm just going to try to pinch hit for her tonight and express our appreciation and support for the public services funding to the South End Community Center, which, as you know, remains the heart of the South End neighborhood and diligently works to meet multiple community needs by providing summer and after-school childcare, community food pantry, and IRS Vita site, and we are home to Head Start. I just would like to take a minute and let you know some of the activities during the pandemic provided by the South End Community Center. One critical service was the IRS Vita tax prep assistance that we were able to do over the phone to provide safe, contactless services for our residents. The center also hosted AARP to help older adults with tax prep this season. For the 2019 tax season, 413 tax returns were prepared for individuals who earn less than $55,000, and that program is operated in cooperation with our South End Community Council. The food pantry also operated with the council, scaled up this past year. There was 64,000 meals that were delivered during the 2019-20 year, and services recently expanded to include delivery to patrons, averaging about 10 to 12 deliveries each week. From March to June, the South End was open daily for as a lunch pickup site for school children. Nearly 2,000 lunches were distributed during that time, and the summer lunch program during July and August provided 786 lunches. And this past summer, and again this summer, we will provide a summer day experience for children. Given the disruption to learning over the course of 2 school years now, the need to offer a summer enrichment experience is more important than ever. And we know that we provide important academic, social, and emotional growth and development for our children. I fully support the CD subcommittee recommendation to fully fund the South End Community Center and appreciate all of the support that we've received over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy, and thank you for all the work you do. We appreciate it. Margot, next up.
I do not have anyone else signed up.
Okay, is there anybody else on the call who would like to, anybody else who has not signed up yet who would like to give a few minutes towards a public hearing for the CDBG only? This is just for a public hearing for the CDBG funding. Ms. Doyle, did you want to just briefly?
Yes, thank you, Chris. Hi, everyone. I'm assuming at this point that many of you know that Chris Bandecki is no longer working with the town of Stratford. So I'm currently transitioning into the role as the Community Development Administrator. As many of you know, for the 2021 program year, also known as program year 47, HUD has awarded Stratford $623,060. So I really look forward to working with everyone in your organizations on moving your projects forward. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm going to put my email address and my work number in the chat so that everyone will have it.
And Ms. Doyle, I know I mentioned, but if you could just, your name and position for the record.
Sure. My current position, I work in the Department of Economic and Community Development as the coordinator. I'm also the coordinator of the Stratford Strong Task Force. Transitioning into the role of the Community Development Administrator, I reside in Stratford at 65 Glenfield Avenue.
Thank you, Karen. Much appreciated. Okay, Margot, as you said, there's no other callers signed up, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Hearing no other callers that'd like to give testimony for the CDBG funding. Margot, before I call this public hearing closed, will this be the same link and dial-in for the public for the regular public forum, or will it be different?
Yes. It is the same. Hold on.
Yep.
Now you've got me. Y'all got me confused.
Just want to confirm it.
No, it is the same link
Excellent.
for the public forum and the town council meeting.
Excellent. So as Ms. Paquette stated, same link, same phone number, and dial-in information for the public for the public hearing, which begins promptly at 6:45, and the town council meeting, which begins at 8 p.m. So with that, I'll call the CDBG public hearing closed at 6:27.